No 4-year-old should experience such trauma. But terrible things happen to innocent children. Sera was a happy and carefree 4-year-old girl living with her aunt and uncle in Rwanda. Then, the Tutsi rebels arrived in her village. They took each wrist of her uncle and suspended him in the air and forced him to watch as they raped his wife and then brutally hacked her to death with an axe. Sera and her cousins stood paralyzed with fear and watched. She would never be the same. They then raped her cousins and stuffed them in a sack, one head down and one head up, and tossed them on the back of a truck with other violated young girls. Finally, as Sera watched, they cut off the head of her uncle. They moved to the truck to dispose of the girls in the river. Fortunately for Sera, her oldest cousin survived this attempted drowning, and she returned under the cover of darkness to gather Sera and her 2 cousins. They began the long walk toward the Ugandan borders in the hope of safety. Without any preparation, they began the 2-week journey. Finding little water to drink and eating only garbage, Sera arrived in Uganda with a damaged throat. After a month in the hospital, she was placed with a family with whom she would live for the next 10 years. Sera was told almost daily by the children in this family that she was the ugliest person in the world. Every day she had experiences to confirm these accusations. She was the virtual slave of the family, cooking, cleaning, fetching water, and eating only when there was food remaining after the family had satisfied themselves. When she arrived late for school every day, she was beaten. It was all because of the responsibility she had at home. Finally, a curious instructor discovered why she was late, and the beating stopped. During her secondary education, she was further traumatized when the soldiers of madman and rebel leader Joseph Kony abducted 53 girls from the school. She was not among them, but the threat of a repeat invasion resulted in her move back to western Uganda. Eventually, Sera finished high school, and through a God-given relationship with some friends from Chicago, arrived in Jinja, Uganda. There, she found dozens of street children. Her own life without love produced a heart of compassion for others with a similar misfortune. She found herself drawn to a group of boys. Soon, Sera was providing juice and bread to feed them daily. Slowly, they began to trust her and sense her compassion. These abandoned boys, between the ages of 7 and 13, who had spent their nights on the streets, begging, stealing, sniffing glue, and getting drunk, began to discover and enjoy the love of a mother. For over 2 years, Sera has provided a home for 16 former street boys. All attend school, and some perform at the top of their class, although none had ever attended school previously. They are clean, well-fed, nurtured, trained, and very hopeful about their futures.